Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so let's get started. So my name is Yas. So today I'm going to talk about the agile practice in Drupal module development. So my name is Yas. I'm a principal architect of cloud of Docomo Innovations. That is a subsidiary company of Docomo. So Docomo is a mobile operator in Japan. We have a half of population of Japan subscribers for mobile service, such as ATT, Verizon, or T-Mobile, something like that in Japan. So I'm involved in Drupal community for almost 14, 15 years since Drupal 4.7. And then now we are developing the cloud module, which is manages the cloud infrastructure. Then we are employing the agile software development way of the project management. So this is our contribution module. You can access to drupal.org project/cloud. This is a screenshot of the cloud infrastructure management software. So by using this software, we can manage Amazon EC2 and Kubernetes or OpenStack. Even we are moving on to the Terraform. So, well, I'm introduced how we can manage our project to develop this kind of the module. So today's agenda. So I walk through the Scrum Agile development, which is one of the methodology of the Agile development. And then I will introduce our team members and I'm talk about the some challenge of the time and the space, because we are implementing our module by the totally virtual team. And then I will introduce the development cycle and the process. And then the last thing, I will introduce the project management by using the Jira. So, well, talk about the agile methodology, which called the Scrum. So when we say agile, there are lots of methodology to manage the process. So one of the agile process, development process, we are doing the Scrum. So Scrum, in a Scrum, we have the backlog, which is the some kind of the to-do list. And then we will pick up the backlog when we have some meeting, which called a sprint. Sprint is a kind of a duration of the period of the small duration of the period of the project. Basically, sprint is 2 to 4 weeks. And then basically, we will have a daily stand-up meeting. So agile methodology, which called the Scrum, is proposing some, the face-to-face communication. That is very important thing. But when we think about this kind of the situation, so not only this kind of the situation like a coronavirus, everybody is working remotely from home, but in our project, actually, we are practicing some kind of the work from home. So everybody is joining our, the team from the San Francisco, Tokyo, and India. I will talk about that later. So actually, we don't have any impact from this kind of the situation recently. But basically in the Scrum methodology, so this is kind of the textbook introduction kind of thing. So in the Scrum methodology, we have a daily stand-up meeting every day in the morning. And then we will talk about something like, what we did yesterday and what we will do today. So after a 2 or 4 week sprint, we have a potentially shippable product increment, and that is a kind of an outcome. In our project, so Drupal project, that is kind of a, the patches. that is our deliverable. So
yes.
yes.
Excuse me to interrupt you. You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, really? Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, thank you so much for letting me.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect now.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. Well, I'm talking about the backlog and a sprint backlog and a sprint 2 or 4 weeks and a potentially shippable product. Okay. All right. Then, so let me introduce our team members. So me as a Yas, and we have the full stack software engineers. Actually, the regular full stack software engineers are 3 people, 3 engineers. And then recently, my colleague is joining our team members. So totally 4. But from January through at the end of this month, we have the another extra lots of engineers, Drupal developers in India. So we have 5 Drupal developers in India and a front-end designer in India, and also DevOps engineers. So let's move on to the challenging time and space. So we are located in California. So I'm working in Palo Alto office, and then Baldwin is joining from South San Francisco, and then Masato is working with me in Palo Alto. And then in India, we have a lot of developers like that. And in Japan, 2 people are joining. And then in between California and India, we have a 11.5 hours time difference. So if we think about the time difference, it's very difficult to pick up the common time in between California and India. So we decided in California, we will start the online meeting from 10 p.m. And in India, that is, sorry, well, this is wrong, but that is at 10 p.m. and in India, that is 11 a.m. Here. So if we think about the Californian and India and Japan, it's very, very hard to pick up the common overlapping the time. So I gave up to pick up the same time zone. I gave up the meeting at the same time in this project after Indian team members joining. So I just pick up the, here, California, 10 p.m. and then in India, 10:30 a.m. And then in Japan, we have the meeting here, 6 p.m. and Japan and 10 a.m. So that's the very, difficult to challenge because, the 3 points like California, India, and Japan, that's if we think about the Earth globally, that is a very, very, difficult to, sync up our conversation or even this kind of the online meeting. But that is a challenge. And then regularly we have the once a week for the sprint and regular sync up meeting. So this is the development cycle. So let me introduce the existing, legacy project management process, which called the waterfall. So if we think about the 1-year project, starting from the plan and the requirement spec and the design and the implement, then test and the release. So everything is planned. So, and then also each phase, we start the plan involved in customer and system design and architecture design and implementation and test. So each phase, we have various people who will be involved in the project. So in waterfall model, process model, we only have the one-time release after a year. So that's a very huge problem. If we think about the the plan at the beginning of this project, our outcome will be delivered after 1 year. So during the 1 year, the situation will be changed. So basically the waterfall is will not be flexible to catch up the some requirement change or specification change. And also various number of resources like engineers in each phase are very different. So we need to have some kind of the military kind of military grade of the project management skill. It's something like construction industry. I feel so. This is kind of a construction industry. So think about when we build the building, we need to have some, the firm, the clear design at the beginning. And then at last, we will get some, the construction structure, the outcome at the end of the kind of a long time period. So for the agile development, it's not like the waterfall. We have the plan. The plan is the same, but after implementing the plan, we have a dev and considering the specification and a QA. This is one small cycle. And as I mentioned, this cycle is 2 to 4 weeks. And then we will release the shippable product. And then we will repeat this kind of the small project once and twice, or 3 times or 4 times through a year. So if we have the 4-week sprint, and after one sprint, we get something like outcome, which we call minimum viable product. So in this case, the diagram shows the 4 sprint through the year. So we have the 4 releases. Actually, we can break down the lots of small chunks of the sprint. It's depending on the sprint. It's depending on the project characteristics. And then finally, we release every 4 to 6 weeks, and developers are involved from the design to quality assurance. So everybody needs to be actually professional in this case, but the resources are fixed from the beginning to the end for the agile development. So for the 2-week sprint, we have the sprint planning and a sprint review at the same time. Basically, we will have a sprint review for the previous sprint, and then we will move on to the sprint planning. Now we can separate this kind of the meeting, but in order to make the meeting, online meeting efficient, we have a planning and a review meeting at the same time. And then weekly meeting, we have not only the 2-week sprint meeting, but also we have a weekly meeting for status update. And then after we have a deliverable, we put some name like our outcome, something like alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, 2, RC1, RC2, and then release 1.x. In the Drupal community, we have this kind of release management way. So we are following that. So developmental process. So here, first, we have the different locations, and we have the California and Japan, and we start the sprint meeting by using the WebEx. And then after planning our sprint, which is we define the backlog, that is a to-do. We communicate each other by using the Slack. And then the developer we'll move on to the implementation by using their IDE, such as the PHP Storm. And then after they create, our engineer creates the patch, then our engineer will upload the patch into the Drupal.org with the active state, and then change to the needs to work. And then after the patch is ready, then the engineer, the owner of the patch, will change to status to needs review. And then everybody in the team members will check, review the patch. And then when the engineer switch to the needs review from the needs work for the status, the Drupal.org will start the automate testing. And then after automate testing is all passed, then we will review the patch again. And then if the patch is ready, we will commit the patch into the Git repository in the Drupal, in a GitLab. And then we will switch the status to the fixed. And then all the backlog, sprint backlog will be finishing. Then we have a sprint review again after 2 weeks. So in this process, of course, we have the sync up meeting every week, and then we communicate each other by using the Slack like this. So after finishing the sprint, we have the sprint review and then sprint planning like this. So for the project management, so we define the requirements and the backlog in sprint planning, and then we have the sprint review and the planning as I talked, and we have a story points, which is kind of the quality of the backlog in each to-do list. And then after that, we will release the software. So for the logistics, we are using the Jira and Slack and GitHub and WebEx and AWS to develop, and the VPN and Docker Hub and Lucid Chat or the PHP Storm. So let me introduce some our Jira. So let me share my screen browser. So this is our the Jira dashboard, and then as you can see, there is something like the green dot shows your resolved issues from the past 1 year since April through March. So the resolved issues are this kind of the kind of a linear line kind of thing. So after since this after the beginning of this year, the several Indian engineers joining our development. So our finished tasks are increasing like this. So go to project. And then if I go to our Jira backlog list, so here each row shows something like issues, issue queue in Drupal.org. So we have the two project management tool like a Jira and also Drupal.org, both that we are using. It's kind of overlapping things, but first internally we defined our backlog by using the Jira, And then after we discuss internally for specification and requirements, then we will suggest, officially, we will suggest our patch to the Drupal.org. Of course, in the Drupal.org, we will open to discuss of our feature or patches and a code review, of course. But so some of engineer will not have some confidence to put some upload their patch into the Drupal.org. So we have a chance to discuss the more detailed specification and officially, detailed specification and acceptance criteria, what we should do. So this is a more flexible way to manage the project. And then after that, we will suggest our patch into the Drupal.org. So that is already, the tested and already a kind of a 80%, 90%, finished of the patches. So basically, we are working on the OpenStack implementation right now. So we have some OpenStack related backlog in this sprint. So each sprint has some kind of the topics and the theme. So in this phase, currently we are working on OpenStack implementation. And then we also have the next sprint planning already. And then next 2 sprint planning like this. And then we have the backlog like that. And then Jira can provide us something like Kanban board, like a to-do and in progress and then done. And then by using this kind of a tool, we have a sync up and a sprint meeting every 1 week. And then finally, we have some sprint report after finishing the sprint. So this is a velocity chart, which I like. So every single sprint, we have some outcome. So gray bar shows the commitment. This is, the gray bar shows the plan. And the green bar shows something like completed tasks. So in the previous sprint, sprint 49, we have the green bar like this. So if we see the green bar, sprint 44, sprint 45, the increasing, and 46 is something like a decreasing, and then 47 is the same. So those are the last 4 sprints for 8 weeks. We have kind of a stable state of our outcome. That is a very good, healthy state. So we will not proceed, we will not exceed this kind of the average of the outcome of the story point, because, sorry, well, I missed the explanation of the sprint story point. So let me go back. So you can see the number. So in each, the backlog, we have a story point. We will vote the number of the story point. If this kind of each backlog is difficult or the quality is high, when we achieve this kind of the one of each issues or the tasks, then story point is higher. So the easier tasks are very lower the story point. And then during the sprint planning, we vote in each tasks. So for example, if I pick up as a developer, I want to refactor Kubernetes export node metrics to batch processing. So if we feel, so everybody is engineer will vote. So this backlog, how much of the amount of the story point in each this kind of the issue. So in this case, we vote for this issue by using the planning poker tool in Jira. So if you already bought like 8 or 9, then we put the story point 9 in this case. So in the same way, we put some kind of the story point in each issues like that. And then after that, we can track the story point after we finalizing the sprint. So go back to the velocity chart. So these are the outcome. So for the commitment is a number of the planning in the planning, and then completed is are the number of the our outcome. So that's a velocity chart. And then also I want to introduce some kind of the control chart. So this chart shows our the speed of our project. So the red line shows some average of finalizing the duration of the date. So each, so we have some kind of the average duration of the each tasks. So if I see in the middle of the February, we have a rolling average is 3.1 days, and then standard deviation the 4.5 days. And then basically, we will finish our each tasks in the one day and 19 hours. So average is 3 days. And so red line shows the average of the our each tasks. So basically that is a 3 day, one day to 3 days. So the blue line shows the actual, the duration of the each tasks, average of the each tasks. So the red line versus blue line. So that means if the blue line is below under the red line, our development speed or speed is faster. But on the other hand, if the blue line is above a red line, the development speed is a little bit slower like that. So now we are in the edge of this diagram. Today is March 28th. So a little bit our project speed is slower. So we can change the priority of our each tasks by using this kind of a tool. So if the project is slower, the project speed is slower, as a project management Scrum Master, we can think about what is the cause of the our project is slower. So we can switch the priority of each task. So this kind of the technique of tool, so the Jira can be very helpful of Scrum Agile development way of our process management. Okay, so go back to PowerPoint slide. Yeah, so I just introduced the Jira. So not only the Jira, but also for the source code reviewing or everything, we are using the Slack, and we are using GitHub and WebEx on demand. So, well, totally, our team is virtual, as I mentioned. So by using this kind of a tool, we get together online and achieving developing our cloud module. So summary, I introduced the Scrum methodology, the Agile development methodology, and the team members, and development cycle and the process, and Agile software development by Jira. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. That's it.
Thank you. Yes. Anybody has a question? You can maybe raise your hand or unmute yourself, since we are such a small group today. I do have a question. Yes,
Okay.
do you work with your team with patches on Drupal? Could you explain to me a little bit more what kind of patches you I was kind of curious what kind of patches you were creating on Drupal.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So when we go to so we have a Drupal contribution project which called the cloud. So this is the project page, like a cloud.
Yes.
And if you go to the issue queue like this, then so these issue is corresponding to the Jira issue in
Oh, okay.
journal.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And then after we make some, the sprint planning internally, and then so behind the scene of the public place in the Drupal org, we have some kind of a double management of our issue, right? But well, we are switching from the plan specification requirements in internal Jira to the public space for the development implementation of the patch. So after the developer disclose, the uploads the patch into the Drupal.org, so everything is public, and then everyone in the world can review the patch. So we are open to discuss. Even internally, our team members are the reviewing our the patch each other in the public space in Drupal.org.
Great.
Yeah.
And how do you use GitHub? Do you use it at the same time as because Drupal also has a Git integration? So.
Yes. Yes, and yeah, the reason why we are using the GitLab by ourselves is unfortunately our cloud projects GitLab automate testing is broken right now. So when we switch to needs review state in the Drupal.org, the automate test needs to be executed. But as you can see, the 8.x, 2.x, waiting for branch to pass. So actually, unfortunately, there's something like a CI/CD automation in Drupal.org is broken, basically.
Okay.
And then I need to contact to the infrastructure team. And then also I already put some open issue to Drupal.org, but I know that one of the infrastructure engineer in a Drupal association is very busy. So I expected to talk to him in DrupalCon Minneapolis, but I was very well waiting for that conference in person. I want to ask him, but well, unfortunately, it's not happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, previously in DrupalCon Amsterdam, he fixed this problem, but we are encountering the same problem again. And then, so for the GitLab, we have our own GitLab CI/CD automation system. Yeah, I can introduce like that.
Oh, it's GitLab, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, GitLab has a great CI/CD tool.
Yes, using the GitLab, we have the pipeline, including the coding standard checking, reviewing by everything automated, and then all the our simple test is run. Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, any other questions?
Anybody else with questions? don't see anything in the chat. You can ask questions in the chat if you feel shy. We're just about running out of time.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to thank you
Okay.
for this presentation.
Thank you so much.
And you will be posting these slides maybe on the session page?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, and this session will be recorded and posted also on our website as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.